Yeah, hi, it's David Lomman here, and it's the 16th of October 2021, and we are recording for past life regression information session. And the purpose of the session is to help people understand past lives and how it relates to their life now, and how understanding a past life can actually help clear away some of the debris of the past and help people to go on into a more secure future. So I'm just going to play a little bit of a PowerPoint and go from there just to help people understand a little bit more about it. We will talk about it, but you're allowed to ask questions, interact, anything you like to do, just so that we can get some energy going with this talk. Okay, so just going to go that way. So we're just talking about past lives, and we're talking in particular about past life regression. I'm David Lomman. I'm a naturopath and hypnotherapist. I do all sorts of different hypnotherapy work, from inner child work to attachment work to past life work to just clearing away those things and the blocks that people presented within their life. So the purpose of past life is to look at things from a bigger viewpoint than just our own personal life as we're living it now. And the reason for that is that I believe we have lived thousands of lives. And I've never worked with anyone yet who hasn't had past life experiences behind them, and things which have been quite scary at times and quite hard to understand at times, but they actually make sense in the context of the person's life. So the most important thing from when I'm looking at past lives is, what's it all about? And one of the things that I think that exploring past lives does, it helps me or anybody else who's going through a past life regression to see life as more of an observer than someone who is afraid to live their life fully. So the more that I can stay present to that life, the better my life becomes. So my goal is to stay more and more present to my life, stay present to the life I'm living, so that I can totally stay present in my own life. And if I'm dragged away by something that's happened in my past, then I'm not going to stay present in my life very well. So past life regression enables me to stay present. Safe past life regression teaches me to understand karma. And I'll talk in the first person here, because that's how I work, is to say, well, this is what it teaches me. What it teaches you has to be what you learn from it. So karma is swings and roundabouts. Karma is whatever has happened in a past life has to be balanced out in the current life, or it will continue through in your human experience. So the more that your human experience reaches a balanced state, even a blissful state, the more you are overcoming karma, and the more you are then having a life of understanding and awareness and importance, really. The other thing that past life regression teaches is the importance of acceptance. The more I accept where I am now, the more easy it is for me to live my life. I don't have to get angry at people, or if I do, it's very short. I don't have to hold resentment. I don't have to hold fear. I can let go of all these different things because I can see the continuation of life. It also teaches me to accept death. It teaches me to understand that death is just a transition rather than the end of me. So I believe that the spirit that I am is going to be here eternally. Energy can neither be created nor destroyed. So therefore, the spirit that inhabits my body has to go somewhere. And I believe that it goes through, learns, grows, comes back again, resolving more and more problems through learning and growing in the human life. And past life regression also teaches me to put it all together to enhance my life. So it's no good if I'm stuck in one lifetime and I've got no opportunity to do anything about it. I need to be able to enhance my life. And in order to enhance my life, I have to have the opportunity to enhance my life. Because mostly, if I've just got one lifetime, how is that fair? How does that balance anything? One lifetime to do everything I need to do, I don't believe that that would ever work for anybody. So if there's anything you want to change physically, to do with your body, mentally, to do with your brain, emotionally, to do with your heart, spiritually, to do with your path, then past lives can help you do it. Now, it's not always going to be a past life issue. However, it will be an issue that has developed from some level of past life intention. So the goal is to find out anything that is not working for you and do something about it. And that's what how I use past lives, or how I see past lives, is to say there has to be a reason for what is happening. And I don't know what that reason is. However, if I explore back to a past life, I might very well find out where it is. So most people harbor doubts, lack of self-worth, fear. I know I have over my lifetime. And I can look at that and I can say, has that come from this life and the traumas that I've faced in this life? Or has that been brought forward from past lives and past life traumas that have taught me how to deal with traumas in this life? And I can look at it and I can say, what are my current reactions? What am I reacting to currently? And how much of that is karma? How much is that of things that I've never dealt with? How much of that is fears? How much of that is lack of self-worth? How much of that is doubt that I've carried forward with me that has stopped me from actually embracing my life in the way that I want to embrace my life? And the more I focus on knowing what to do and how to do it, and bringing myself to that freedom, the better I feel about my life, because I can see that what I am doing is actually working for me. And even if I'm stuck in somewhere at the present time, it doesn't mean I have to stay stuck. It just means I'm stuck at the present time. So the importance is for me to look at where I'm stuck and then to work out what's caused that and what do I need to do to release it and let it go. So why past life regression? Well, because it helps me to understand. It helps me to deal with issues, physical issues, mental, emotional, or spiritual issues, so that I can be free to have more fun. It also teaches me not to be a perfectionist. It teaches me not to take things so seriously. It teaches me that life is there to be lived. It helps me to find peace through relaxation of the mind and body without any intrusive thoughts, through attaining a balanced state. Going into a past life really does help me to understand myself better. And it creates positive change in my life. It teaches me that I can be in control of my destiny, and that anything that might have happened that I thought I might have been a victim of wasn't actually a victim, being a victim. It was just that I didn't have the skills yet to bring about that positive change that I needed. And it teaches me to have acceptance. One of the greatest past lives I had, where I went back to a previous lifetime, really taught me to accept things as they are. And doing that brought me a deeper feeling of inner peace than anything I'd experienced up to that time. And it helped me to calm myself, and it created more self-respect, because I found a way out of something that I didn't even know I could do. So I'm just going to stop the share there and just go back a little bit. And Carla, any questions so far?
No, all good so far, David.
Okay, Shirley, any questions? I know you're an expert in this now, but.
No, please, I'm still a student.
Okay. And Zelina, any questions that you have? Nope. I think you're muted, Zelina. Ria, if you're there, any questions you have?
No questions so far.
Okay. Is this all making sense, Ria?
It is, yeah.
Good. So I believe that we are here to experience bliss, and that in order to experience bliss, it's important that we understand ourselves and that we understand that it's okay to let go and allow ourselves to experience that feeling of bliss that is actually available to us. And the couple of times where I've experienced that in my life, just total bliss, at the time I didn't understand it and I shut it down. And getting back there has meant doing some journeys, doing some understanding, achieving a state of lightness, a state of acceptance, a state of energetic being. So the present state is due to your current reality. However you find yourself now is due to your choices. So to me, as an energy, we have free will. So if I have free will, that means the only person that could choose my life was me. So, and if I chose to be what is called a different personality, if I chose to be a choleric personality, then I chose that I wanted to have control in this life. And if I brought fear into the picture, then the fear would be that I didn't have control or I couldn't get control. So that would drive me more and more into that fear. Because that's the other thing, whatever we fear is what we move closer to. Because the goal is to release the fear. If I'm melancholic and I want things to be perfect, then I'm coming out of a false sense of false pride. I'm coming out of a belief that I can be perfect. And it's not true. I can't be perfect. Nothing on this earth is perfect. I am perfect as I am in my own state. However, nothing on this earth is truly perfect. We're imperfect in our imperfection. Otherwise, we wouldn't be here. Self-will, the sanguine comes here to have fun. And if the sanguine isn't having fun, the personality of the sanguine will do whatever it takes to find fun. And unfortunately, that can run into some problems with addictions and all sorts of other problems as well. And then the phlegmatic just wants respect. They want to be known, they want to be understood, and they want to have respect. And if they don't have respect, then their tendency is to shut down and to back away, which again comes out of fear, but it also comes out of false pride and it comes out of self-will. So the ideal personality is a personality that has balanced all of these personalities, the choleric, the melancholic, and the sanguine, and the phlegmatic, and has brought everything in their life to a balanced state within, where they have the right amount of control, where they have the right amount of things being good enough, where they have the right amount of fun, and where they have the right amount of self-respect. Because if you have true self-respect, you do not need respect from outside. So the goal is to get to that balanced state. Now, the way to get to that balanced state is to take care of anything which is stopping me from getting to that balanced state. So if I'm not in the balanced state, it is only because something is stopping me from being there. I have free will. I have choice. I have an ability. And if, for whatever reason, I've got old issues left behind in past lives, in the thousands of past lives that I've had, then that will impact on me and cause me to deal with things in an imperfect way. And knowing about your past life is a way of understanding that the reality that you think you have is not quite everything that you do have. So how do we get to a past life? Well, in our brainwave, our waking consciousness is in the beta waves. So our mind is going, turning around and around and around. We're thinking most of the time. And when we relax into an alpha brainwave state, it drops the electromagnetic cycles per second of the brain waves down lower, and we can then access the subconscious mind. And accessing the subconscious mind means that all the information we have stored from all previous lifetimes is available to us. Now, I don't suggest anybody goes to all previous lifetimes or tries to go there. You would only go to a lifetime which was important to understand and be aware of. And that's the purpose of doing past life journeys, is to say, I would like to experience where I was once upon a time that is still impacting me this lifetime. And one of the journeys we do in the course is that we do a back to the cause journey. And back to the cause means whatever is stopping us from being the way we want to be now, there will be a cause to it. And if it's in a past life, we have the capacity to go there to find it and release it and let it go. And some of the journeys I've taken people through to back to the cause have been absolutely astounding. So where does this negative thinking start? Well, it starts in our past lives. It starts in our belief that we're not good enough. It starts in our reasoning that we feel that there's pieces of us that are not good enough. And it starts with holding on to anger, holding on to guilt, shame, blame, hurt, pain, carried forward to our current life. And in our current life, because we have these other feelings already, we then pick up other people's beliefs. So mother, father, grandparents, school teachers, whoever it might be, government beliefs, peer group beliefs, and we're often not taught in our childhood to know what we believe, and we often pick up somebody else's beliefs in order to justify our behaviors. So all of the times that I've picked up somebody else's belief, if it's not my true belief, my goal would be to look at that and say, well, actually, no, that isn't my belief. I need to let that go, and then be able to let it go. So, and then that brings me back to my belief. And my belief might be, I'm not good enough, I'm not handsome enough, I'm not strong enough, I'm not got enough muscles, whatever it might be. Or I might believe that I've got achy bones and I'm always going to have achy bones. I might believe that something's happened to me that has caused me not to be as good as I could be. And if that started from a past life, no matter where I look in this lifetime, I won't be able to find it because it's not in this lifetime. If I'm looking for the cause of a problem, having the belief or the ability to go back to a past life means I have a much greater scope of finding the cause of that problem. So when I work with people and I say, let's go back to the cellular memory of the cause of this problem, then they might go back to a time of plague. So say they're having problems with their immune system in this lifetime, they might go back to a time of plague where they were a doctor treating people with plague and they laughed off the person's illnesses, or they just took the money or something else. So in this lifetime, they're coming face to face with their own mortality, which teaches them never to do again what they did in that lifetime. But it might also be that they wanted to experience what it was like to be a victim of a virus. And we're just talking about virus because it's topical at the moment, because we don't know what a person's journey is. The person's journey is the person's journey. So each person here has their own journey to go through. And if there is issues in the past lives that are affecting the current life through other people's beliefs that have affected our beliefs, then clearing those away, clearing away the belief that I'm not good enough, clearing away the belief that I'm not pretty enough, I'm not this, I'm not that, I'm not capable enough. Clearing away all those beliefs means it's going to be much easier for me in this lifetime to just get on and live. And until I do that, then life is not going to be the way that I truly could have it be. And instead, what happens is I'm just going along from lost opportunity to lost opportunity, or I get a hit and I feel really good and I go up, and then I come down and life becomes a game of snakes and ladders, rather than a life of forward movement where things just work because all the beliefs that I hold are beliefs that are true to me, which are working in my life. So the importance is to say, okay, if I am holding any negative beliefs, do I want to continue to hold them, or would I rather let them go? And finding out from past life that the belief came from your past life really does help in the process of letting go of old beliefs. So the more that you can let go of old beliefs, the easier it is to be the person you would really like to be when you know who that person is and what that is all about. So I'm just going to stop the share again and we'll just come back to it in a minute. For the moment, just to connect, and again, Carla, for you, is any questions, anything else coming up for you that you wanted to talk about or discuss?
Not at this stage, David.
Okay. Shirley, for you?
So far, it's so good.
Okay. So the goal is that no matter where we are currently, the skills that we took to get to that point will not take us any further than that point. So each time we come to a certain point in our life, it's important that we find new skills to help us move further in our life if we are here to learn and grow, and if we want to learn and grow. So, and the way that we do that is by instituting what I call the observational ego. And the observational ego is that part of us that can look at an interesting, at something and say, well, that's interesting. I don't know where that's come from in my life, that fear, but I would like to find out where that's come from, and I would like to let it go because I don't want to have that fear. I was just working with someone this morning who had a fear about selling the property that she had because she wasn't sure that she could find another property to rent or buy, whether she had enough money and everything else. And it turns out that because of an event from her past life, she was still holding karmic debt that she hadn't paid to help her to let go and truly experience the freedom of letting go. Now, that's basically playing off little ego. And little ego says, I'm not good enough. Little ego says, I'm not going to get what I could have. Little ego says, I'm never going to be okay. Nothing is ever going to work out for me, or this will never be the thing that I want it to be. However you would see little ego, and little ego's belief is, I'm not good enough. And that comes from childhood or past life. Usually that's anchored in the person in the first 7 years of their life, that they are not good enough. And they go through life with that feeling within. Big ego, on the other hand, is more interested in saying, I'm better than them. It's more interested in saying, I don't have to learn anything. I don't have to listen to anybody. I know what I know, and that's enough. And you'll see a lot of people like that who aren't interested in learning anything else. By being open-minded, they're only interested in learning what interests them. By being closed to any outside influences, except those influences which are meeting what they believe about themselves. Whereas observational ego says, that's interesting, An observational ego is the best sort of ego to do any sort of past life work with, because it allows you to become the observer of that past life, and then to take the lesson from the past life and apply it to your current life. And when I've done that, it has just raised me up so much higher than I ever could have raised before, because what it's done, it's allowed me to understand that that thing that I thought was true for me, that was somebody else's belief. That was something that came from another part, from a past life, or that was something that came from a belief of my parents, and it had nothing to do with me in this lifetime. So the important thing for me is to be able to look at that and say, as an observer, that's interesting. How is that affecting my karmic balance that I'm staying in fear? And what can I do about that? And if I clear it in a past life, I can then clear it in this lifetime. And interestingly, I can also clear it in all previous past lives through other techniques. I can send it back through all previous past lives, so that that particular issue that I'm dealing with, I never have to deal with again, because it's done and dusted. And the karmic defense of the big ego and the little ego keeps me stuck in duality. And duality means that I see others as oppositional to me, and then I can never have enough for myself. So I'm stuck on a drama triangle. I'm stuck not knowing what I need for myself. I'm stuck not knowing how to get what I want. And if I've got the big ego, I'm out there trying to get more and more and more, and I can go for gold, or I can go for houses, and I can never get enough. I can never truly get enough, because I'm acting out of big ego, rather than just saying, this is where I am and this is a great place to be, and now let's move things forward. So these are the fundamentals I have of past life regression. The first thing is to know your goals. So one of the things that I get people to do is write down what they want to achieve. So whether I'm doing naturopathy, where I'm dealing with people's health in issues of might be blood pressure, weight, depression, anxiety, doesn't matter. One of the most important thing is that the people, when they come in, they know their goals. They know what they want, that they're very specific about what they want. So any past life I would take anyone through is for them to be specific about what they want, that they then have the opportunity to learn the skills. Because to me, if I'm helping someone go to a past life journey, I'm also helping them to learn the skills that they can go back and do other journeys to help with other issues. And also to learn that that fear that they have, that lack of self-belief they have, or that overstimulated ego that they have, they're all issues that they can put aside once they learn how. The addictions they have, they don't have to have. It's all in the process of helping people learn the skills to help them to become who they truly want to be. And then the question is to ask, are you really prepared to do this? Do you want to? And once someone says yes, it's then easier to help them to trust the process. And trusting the process means that they become observational, they've got set goals, they decide it's okay, and then the instructions are given that you stay present to what you are seeing and hearing as you go into a past life, that you follow the instructions that are given, because the instructions are there to keep you safe, and to know in your heart of hearts that you are safe. No matter how many scary things you might see, no matter what you might feel, you are safe, and nothing in that past life can harm you anymore once you know that you are safe and that you are protected and you have your guides with you. So all of this is part of the process of prepping for past lives, and helping people understand that past lives, they're not unknown. They've been known for time immemorial, that people, seers, people who could see things, could understand things. The Native Americans had their grandfathers and grandmothers. The cultures of over half the world's population believes or has belief in past lives. In the Bible, there are references to past lives. All of this has followed through lifetime after lifetime for people to eventually know that I'm safe, that you are safe, that even when I die, I am safe. The spirit of me is not going to be destroyed. It might be held in bondage, it might be trapped, but it is not going to be destroyed. So, any questions so far? Shirley, any questions or comments to make?
Thank you, David. It's a very interesting presentation, a introduction as well to, I guess, lay people. And I like the way sometimes you describe, like, for example, your diagram on the ego is very good, very clear. And then the snake and ladder is also an example of people falling into traps.
Yeah.
Known or unknown.
Yes. Thanks, Shirley. Carla, any questions?
No, all good, David.
Okay. Is there any particular issue or sense of a lifetime that you personally would want to explore at any time, whether it's this time or any other time?
David, for me, I think I would like to look at around communication block.
Yep.
I feel that I don't express myself enough. I hold back. And then when I do speak, I just tend to blurt things out without really thinking about it. It's like there's a fear behind it.
Yes. Yeah. So, and that is something that's easy to explore in a past life journey. Just to relate one of my past life journeys, it was a very simple one. I was having trouble on a keyboard, tap, 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 and I couldn't get my fingers to work properly on the keyboard. And so I decided that when I was doing some past life work, that I would find out what that was all about. And I actually went back to a Native American experience where I was a young boy in a Native American camp, and I was on the drums, like the warning drums, and the soldiers came and shot me. And my body was jerking as I was going through this experience. My body was jerking. I was being affected by what I felt were the bullets passing through me. And I had made a decision, because the thing with past lives is what's left behind. That's what's important. What's left behind. So I'd made a decision that I wouldn't play anymore. And my body had taken it that this tapping on the keyboard was playing. And therefore, it wasn't something that I was synced to, because the past life had blocked that sync. So once that was explored and released, I could immediately go to the keyboard and start tapping away. Now, I can never still touch type because I've never learned, but I can get the thing moving much faster than I ever did before. So that was an immediate result that I got from that. And that's the sort of immediate result that people get from past lives. So the experience itself is enlightening because it opens things up to a much greater experience than has been there before. Because all of a sudden, you are a Roman soldier or a Roman general. All of a sudden, you're looking at the pyramids from being there, not just like on a movie somewhere, but you are there. And you might be the builder of the pyramids, or you might be a person who's standing there watching them being built. So all of these experiences are only relative to what's left behind. So if the person building the pyramid resented building the pyramid, for instance, then that resentment was left behind and never cleared. And if that hadn't been cleared in any other lifetime moving forward, and you were having trouble with resentment in this lifetime, then that resentment needed to be cleared so that you could just actually relax inside. So whatever issues are there, they're going to be accentuated in this lifetime, and going back to the past life. And the purpose of the past life is to clear them so that the feelings that you are being held back by something gets gone. It just gets gone. And once it's gone, freedom comes. Because freedom is the path towards our goals. And each time we step out and move towards our goals, and we find a block of some kind, as in speaking up, speaking out, then that block has to come from somewhere. It always has a cause. Now, cause can be in childhood, but in my experience, the childhood experience has been a reflection of what's happened in a past life. And in the childhood, it got blocked because it wasn't cleared in the past life. And one of the reasons that we did come back was to clear that block. So we bring the block forward. We can look at that block differently now. And we can say, that's a learning experience. That's a learning lesson. So now, what can I do to clear the block? Right, can I clear it in this lifetime, inner child work? That can clear some of it. Will it clear all of it? It may not. Let's go back to the past life. Let's find out where it started from. Let's see if you got your throat cut because you spoke out. I had an experience speaking in a square and, pontificating or whatever I was doing, talking, and I got killed in that square for speaking out. So my way of dealing with that after that was to pull back, not speak up, not give of my best, because I didn't want to feel that censure from other people anymore. I wanted to be free to just drift through life rather than create the life that I truly could have. So clearing that block allowed me to be much more vocal in myself, because I got to a meeting and I was being elected as to one of the committee member positions of, I think it was secretary at the time, and I had to give a bit of a talk, and I couldn't get any words out. It was just like holy. I had no idea what that was. But clearing that energy has allowed me to speak much more vocally, much more outspoken, much more on target, on point, getting my message to where I need to get it. So that's been my journey through looking at past lives and experiencing past lives and seeing what they can teach me. And that's what I want to help others to learn as well. So thank you for that, Carla. Zelina, if you're there. So I shall just go close that out again and just go back. And the process that I like to deliver when working through and teaching past life work is that there is a reason behind doing the work. And the reason to me behind doing the work is that through doing this work, I will learn and grow. I will take this work and I will utilize it for my own personal benefit and for the benefit of others that I am of service to. Because it will mean that I am a more rounded person, I am a more capable person, I am a more aware person, more understanding person. And it's not that I have to do that. I can also take this work and use it for the wrong purpose if I still have a lot of other stuff stuck inside. But the more that I am focused on utilizing it for the good of all, the more that I balance karma for those lifetimes where I didn't use it for the good of all. And to me, the whole purpose of life is I'm here to balance karma. I'm here to fulfill my dharma. And my dharma is to know my purpose and to serve my purpose. And I am here to experience the law of grace, where all is released. Because it's through those three experiences, I believe, that balancing karma, knowing my dharma, and being focused on serving that purpose and experiencing the law of grace will take me higher and higher to bliss. It will allow me to become the best person I can be. And through being the best person I can influence others to be the best people that they can be. And that's my goal. My goal is basically to serve and to help others become the best they can be. So I'm just going to go back to the screen again and so this has just been a free session. It's been an information session, and you can continue by yourself. If you've done past life work before, that's fine. If you'd like some guidance along the way, I'm happy to help if you want that help. If you want a personal session with me, that's fine. But my experience has shown me the quickest and best way to get what I want is to be coached by someone who knows how. And in this instance, that's me. With Shirley, that may be someone else that she knows and the teaching that she's had. But MBA are offering past life regression workshop, and it is starting next week if we have enough people to start it. And it's 420-minute sessions, 2-hour sessions of work, basically, of helping people understand their needs, their gifts, their goals, and how to reach those goals. It's evening group here in Brisbane evening anyway. We start next week. Group price is $297 a person. The benefits are there. The first session, the first week, you learn how to relax and experience a positive, neutral, or happy life. And that's just to give you the instruction, the introduction, the way of getting there to reach that life so that you feel more confident in challenging yourself the week after. In the next week, you learn how to learn from a past relationship. Now, that relationship might be someone that you are with currently, that you had a past life relationship with, or somebody where you've had an issue with and you find out you can just designate anyone that you want to see if you had a past life relationship with and what it is that hasn't been cleaned up from that lifetime. Session 3, you learn how to activate a creative ability. In that session, you go back to a time where you were creative. You may have been an artist or a musician. You may have been a writer. You may have been a sea captain even. Something that you have that you were doing really well that you haven't been able to go to in this lifetime more fully, that you would like to go to, just to clean it up so that you can move forward in your life. And the session 4 is to learning how to let go of causes of current issues. And that's called a back to the cause session. And that's the one that all the others preparing you for. Because when you go back to a cause, you don't know what you're going to experience. You don't know what you're going to see. So if you go through some easy steps first, it's much easier to go back to a current issue cause by knowing that it's safe to do so. Because above all, the most important thing is to know that it is safe to do this work. Some people just think that they're going to get lost in it, or there's something bad might happen to them or anything else. I've never had that experience. I've always had the experience that people come back from these lifetimes feeling empowered. They may be emotionally drained, but they come back feeling empowered to know that they have the power to do this work, because it is very powerful work. And with the physical self, the mental self, the emotional self, and the spiritual self, this work is some of the most powerful work that you can do. So if you want to explore that, you can copy and paste that link there. That will take you to it, or you can go back, or you can email me and ask me. It's going to be on Wednesday evenings from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. I'm going to start as soon as I've got some people involved, and that we can go forward, and I'll just carry it forward and we'll keep working on it until we have enough people involved. So thank you all for being here. The most important thing is that I hope that I've put over to you how I understand past lives. There's also such a thing as the Akashic records. Now, the Akashic records hold the records of every lifetime you have ever lived and the purpose of your journey in those lifetimes. So there is so much to learn with past lives. There is so much involved with past lives that you can become involved with once you start to understand the dynamics of the purpose of our life. And the more that I understand the purpose of my life, the more I will give to that life, or the more free I can be in that life to give to that life. The more open I can be, the more free I can be, the more aware I can be of where I'm not accepting life as it is. And perhaps that is something that is holding me back from being the best I can be in this lifetime. So thank you for being here. Shirley, maybe if you can just let me know how you're feeling about what is being offered, and whether it's things that you have already covered in what you've done, or if there is something else you would like to cover that I haven't covered.
Hi, David. Like I said, the last 2 years of doing that course itself has gone in depth to many different areas and different aspects. Your presentation today is really a good benefit to people who are in the lay people, I would say, who are first introduced to it, the terms. So I would encourage the rest of the audience to really take up David's offer, because it's really interesting to find out what affects you in the current life. For me, my own experience was really a deep jump into the pool because I went for a consultation with a past life regressionist during her free talk, and I booked a session with her the next day, and it went into 6-7 glimpses of past lives all the way to my very first one on Earth. And eventually, when I started that course, during the first module, I was a demo subject, and the presenter, the teacher, was asking what issues do I have to work on, just taking turns with the classmate. And I say, oh, okay, maybe my skin problem, because I had been struggling for years with some white spots. You consider it as a fungus that grows on the skin, and it blooms whenever we have lots of perspiration and sports activities. So that demonstration went into a past life when I was a merchant ship captain that lost the life with the boat, and the crew all washed aboard because of lightning struck on the mast, and seeing people dying. And so being the captain, I must have felt the guilt of the loss of life and that mission. So eventually, all those years on the sea, it came out to be the mole on the skin and the groins and all the, underarms and so on. And just few weeks, almost like half a year, all the spots have disappeared. And that's permanent for a 30-year-old problem since my teens.
Yeah.
So I would say this thing really works to just even get seeing the death itself and not even reviewing that full life, just glimpses of it, and then accessing what's the dying thought, the feeling, what lessons to learn from there, how it impacted current life.
Yes.
And your current life is free.
Yes. Brilliant.
So David is doing nice work. Thank you.
Thank you.
That's just sharing my own experience.
And Carla, for you?
Yeah, David, I really enjoyed the session and got a lot out of it, a better understanding of it. And I'll be discussing going forward with Robert.
Okay. I look forward to it.
Okay.
Thanks, Carla. Look, thanks everyone for attending. I'm really pleased to have met you here. And I look forward to doing more of these talks and just to help people understand more and more about past lives. This particular session will go up onto our YouTube channel so that others can have a look at it. So nobody said anything which has been nasty or bad. So there's no problems with that. We don't have to cut anything out, which is great. And I hope that you've all gained karma points from being here. Well done all. Thank you all. Thank you. Bye for now.